Today, I'm going to be talking about dialectical behavior therapy, specifically on one of the emotional regulation skills called opposite action. I'm Dr. Anna Georgiadis, clinical psychologist for the Brent Clinical Psychology Service. So, what is opposite action? Opposite action is acting opposite to our action urges. So we know that every emotion has an action urge. That is a tendency to want to react in a certain way in response to a feeling. However, our action urges may not always be appropriate given the circumstances and or may have a negative consequence in the long term. So we want to think about how we respond in a given situation despite how we are feeling. And what we know is that we can change the emotion by acting opposite to its action urge. So we can use opposite action when our emotions do not fit the facts or when acting on our emotions is not effective. So here's a list of specific emotions, typical action urges associated with those emotions, and what opposite action would look like for each of those feeling states. So for anger, you'd want to confront an attack. The opposite action here would be gently avoid or being polite. For anxiety, you'd want to typically avoid or flee. The opposite action here would be approach and not avoiding. Sadness, we tend to withdraw or isolate. Here, we'd want to get active instead. For guilt, you would want to repair or fix. The opposite action here would be to confide in others who won't reject us and not apologizing. For disgust, there's a tendency to want to repel or clean. Here, we'd want to move close to or be kind. For envy, we typically want to strive or criticize. Here, we'd want to inhibit destroying and actually showing appreciation, gratitude for what we do have. For jealousy, there's a tendency to protect or guard. And the opposite action would be to let go of controlling others' actions and behaviors. For shame, you want to appease or hide. The opposite action would be confiding in others who won't reject us and not hiding. And the last one here is love. There's a tendency to want to get close to or engage with people that we care about. The opposite action here would be to avoid, distract, and to stop expressing feelings of love. So how do we practice opposite action? So the step-by-step guide to opposite action is as follows. Firstly, we want to identify and name the emotion we want to change. Then you want to check the facts to see if our emotion and its intensity is justified by the facts. Then we want to identify and describe our action urges. Then we want to ask our wise mind, is expressing or acting on this emotion effective in this given situation? And if our emotion does not fit the facts, or if acting on the emotion is not effective, then we want to identify our opposite actions to our action urges and act opposite all the way to our action urges. And we repeat acting opposite to our action urges until our emotion changes. So here is just a little bit of a step-by-step guide for acting opposite to our action urges. So specifically, we're going to think about each emotion now and how to practice opposite action for them. So for anger, this fits the facts of a situation when an important goal of ours is blocked or when someone we care about is being attacked or threatened. There is a sense of maybe loss or power or loss of power, status, or respect. When anger is not justified by the facts or is not effective, then we want to practice acting opposite to our action urges. So we can gently avoid the person we are feeling angry with rather than attacking or being kind of shouting or responding in an aggressive manner back to them. We want to take a time out, breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly. And we want to be kind rather than mean or insulting. So all the way opposite actions for anger include maybe imagining and understanding, empathy for the other person, taking their perspective to see the situation from their side, and imagine maybe really good reasons for what has happened. We want to change our posture, trying to change it from an aggressive stance by unclenching our hands, palms open, showing willing hands, relaxing our chest, our stomach, unclenching teeth, relaxing our facial muscles, and demonstrating half smile. We also want to be changing our body chemistry by doing paced breathing or using a physical exercise to get rid of any physical aggressive energy. For anxiety, anxiety fits the facts of a situation whenever there is a threat to you or someone you care about in terms of life, health, or well-being. When anxiety is not justified by the facts or is not effective, we need to do the opposite to our anxious urges. So you need to be doing what you're afraid of doing and repeat this over and over. You want to approach events, places, tasks, or activities and people you are afraid of. You want to do things that give you a sense of control and mastery over your fears. All the way opposite actions for anxiety are keeping your eyes and ears open and focused on the feared event, looking slowly around you and exploring. You want to be taking in information from the situation and just notice that you're safe. You want to change your posture and keep a confident voice tone. Keep your head and eyes up and your shoulders back, but relaxed. You want to change your body chemistry again by doing paced breathing, deep breathing in deeply and slowly in and out. So sadness. Sadness fits the facts of a situation whenever there is a sense of loss or that some expectation hasn't been met. Now, when sadness is not justified by the facts or is not effective, we want to demonstrate opposite action to our sad urges. And this is typically done by getting active. We need to avoid avoiding. We need to build mastery and structure in our week. So doing tasks that give us a sense of purpose and meaning. And we want to increase our pleasant events and things that we enjoy doing in our week. So all the way opposite actions for sadness is including paying attention to the present moment. We need to be mindful of our environment as each detail unfolds. We want to experience new and positive activities that we're engaging in. There is a caution here that we typically might ruminate or dwell over negative events and memories of the past or go into worrying about uncertainties of the future. Neither of those two situations are being in the present moment. So we need to keep practicing being aware of the moment as it unfolds moment by moment in our day-to-day lives. This will help get us away from being stuck in the past or stuck in worrying about the future. We need to change our body posture. So adopt a bright body posture, head up, eyes open, shoulders back, keeping an upbeat tone of voice, and also changing our body chemistry by increasing physical movement. And this could be through a range of different exercises like running or jogging, walking, or doing physical exercise. Guilt. Now, guilt fits the facts of a situation whenever our behavior violates our own values or moral code. Now, when guilt is not justified by the facts or is not effective, we need to do the opposite to our action urges. So we maybe make public our personal characteristics or flaws or behavior with people who won't reject us. And we would repeat behavior that sets off guilt over and over without hiding behavior from others who won't reject us. And this can help with feelings of guilt. And all the way opposite actions for guilt is not apologizing, taking in all the information about the situation, again, changing our body posture. So we want to look innocent and proud, lifting our head up, our chest up, maintaining eye contact and keeping your voice tone steady and clear. Now, when guilt is not justified, but maybe shame is justified, then you'd need to be thinking about hiding that behavior that is unwelcomed by, other people, or using interpersonal skills if you want to stay in the group, communication, working maybe to change that behavior that isn't accepted, or joining a new group that fits with your values and who will not reject you. You want to repeat the behavior with your new group and you want to validate yourself. Disgust. Disgust fits the facts of a situation whenever something you're in contact with could contaminate you or someone whom you deeply dislike touches you or someone you care about, or you're around someone or some group who could harmfully influence you or the group you are part of. When disgust is not justified by the facts or is not effective, you want to be doing opposite action to those urges. So instead of being repelled by and moving away, you want to move close to, whether that's kind of standing near or consuming, eating, drinking. It's embracing basically what you find disgusting and being kind to those you feel contempt for. And all the way opposite actions for disgust is imagine understanding and empathy for the other person you feel disgust or contempt for. Try to see the situation from their perspective. Imagine really good reasons for how the person might be behaving or looking. Taking in with your five senses what you feel repulsive, changing your body posture, as we've discussed before, and changing your body chemistry. Envy. Envy fits the facts of a situation whenever another person or group has what you want or need but don't have. When envy is not justified by the facts or is not effective, we need to be doing the opposite to our action urges. So we need to inhibit destroying what the other person has, and we really need to be grateful for what we do have and making a list of things that we are thankful for. So, all the way opposite actions for envy is showing gratitude for all that we do have, avoid discounting what we do have, and avoid exaggerating what others have. We need to be thinking about changing our body posture, so looking innocent and proud, head up, like we've discussed before, and changing our body chemistry by doing paced breathing. Jealousy. Jealousy fits the facts of a situation whenever someone is threatening to take a very important and desired relationship or object away from us. An important or desired relationship is in danger of being damaged or lost. When jealousy is not justified by the facts or is not effective in a given situation, we need to be doing the opposite of our action urges, and that's letting go of controlling others' actions. We need to share the things and people that we have in our lives. So, all the way opposite actions for jealousy is to stop monitoring. We need to suppress our probing questions like, where are you? Who are you with? We need to stop avoiding. So, listen to all the details, focus on sensation, keeping our eyes open, looking around, and taking all the information in about a given situation. We want to be changing our body posture and also changing our body chemistry. And shame. Shame fits the facts of a situation whenever there's a threat that we might be rejected by a person or group we care about if some personal characteristics or behavior are made public or known. When shame and guilt are not justified by the facts or are not effective, we need to do the opposite of our action urges, and that's make public our personal characteristics or flaws or behavior with the people that won't reject us. So, all the way opposite actions for shame, we should not apologize, taking all the information about a situation, again, changing our posture. So, we're looking innocent, proud, lifting our head up, having our chest up, maintaining eye contact with people, and keeping a steady tone of voice. When shame is not justified, but guilt is justified, then we need to react in a different way. So, we can make public our behavior with people who won't reject us, maybe apologizing for our behavior. We need to think about maybe repairing the transgressions or committing to avoiding making that mistake in future. It's about accepting the consequences gracefully, showing forgiveness for yourself and acknowledging the causes of our behavior and then letting it go. And lastly, love. Love fits the facts of a situation whenever loving a person, animal, or object enhances our quality of life. And when love is not justified by the facts or not effective, we need to do the opposite of our action urges. So we would have to avoid the person, animal, or object that we love, distract ourselves from thoughts of the person, animal, or object, and remind ourselves why love is not justified. So we'd be thinking about the disadvantages of loving when such thoughts arise. And all the way opposite actions for love is avoiding contact with everything that reminds you of that person you love. That could be pictures, messages, emails, belongings, mementos, not following, waiting for, or looking for the person. We need to stop expressing love for that person and even to friends. So not discussing them to your friends. And you want to adjust your posture and expressions if you're around that person you love. No leaning towards, no getting close enough to touch, sighing, gazing, or staring at that person. So, just to summarize, opposite action is acting opposite to our action urges. We know that every emotion has an action urge, that is a tendency to want to react in a certain way in response to that given feeling. And we use opposite action when our emotions do not fit the facts or when acting on our emotions is not effective. So we can actually change the emotion by acting opposite to its action urge. And it's very important to familiarize yourself with the action urge for each emotion and how to act opposite to this action urge. So I would encourage you to try and think about what emotions you're experiencing, what patterns you typically fall into in response to these particular emotions, and have a go and think about how you can start practicing acting opposite, especially if the emotion maybe doesn't fit the facts or is not effective to experience in that given moment. So practicing opposite action can be very, very helpful. It's a highly recommended skill, so something to think about. So until our next video, I hope you enjoyed this and take care and bye-bye.